Hey guys, and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow, and today I have my first Update 1 discussion. When Sunbreak originally launched, we had a little talk about difficulty, the challenge of Sunbreak and its endgame in general, our overall thoughts about it. I even had a poll to see what you'd pick as the hardest monster at the time, so today I'm back to review this concept for Update 1. What was the hardest monster of the update? What do we think of the update and its new endgame systems in general? So let's begin with that fun question though. What was the hardest monster in Update 1? We released a poll on the community tab of the channel, much like always for our video polls. In that poll, you had 5 options: Lucent, Nargacuga, Seething, Bazel, and of course the 2 Metal Wraths, and as your 5th option, that was the bundle of new afflicted monsters in this update, which when you look at all at once, this is a reasonable 9 different anomaly monsters to try. So 9 versions of a monster and then 4 new monsters in the update isn't bad at all. But let's go through the top 3 picks of the poll. 29,000 of you guys voted overall, and of that 29k, you voted the 3rd hardest monster of Update 1 was Lucent Nargacuga. A surprise for me, because if you asked me which the hardest monster of the update was going to be, before we played it, I would have assumed Lucent would be the obvious option. But it's true though. Thanks to the arena itself, we do get that full Spirit Bird buff, which makes a huge difference, and also the turtle to prevent a cart on top of that. It really takes the edge off the hunts in the Forlorn arena currently. But personally, I do love Lucent. The new combos are nice, but it's the way the tail spikes have that satisfying purple coloring to them, with the clever effects where it's like a line of continuous damage, or the circle that spreads out slowly. Not to forget things like his new super spin or the stealth super attack. I really like this monster. Having it in current gen, this is a really nice version of it. But I do agree, it wasn't the most challenging of all of them. I just like the fight. At number 2 then, with the same 14% votes, but way more comments talking about this monster specifically in the post itself, it's to my surprise Seething Bazel. And while I enjoy this fight, it's actually my least enjoyable of the 4 monsters in the update. I much prefer fighting, say, the Metal Wraths and their new mechanic to, say, Bazel's extra blue bombs. That's not the question here though, obviously. It was about what was hardest. And I think I know why this isn't something I would agree with. It's probably because I main dual blades, which is an extremely mobile weapon. I can avoid or even instant counter the bombs pretty easily compared to, say, a slower weapon, or weapons that have counters that last less time. Recently I've been picking up Switch Axe again now that I've settled into the update, and I can imagine being slow like that is going to be a real problem in that fight. From the comments, people seem to have found the speed of Seething himself, alongside the larger blast radius of those mini bombs, to be the main issue. Josh himself said it's who he carted to the most out of the 4. But finally, at number 1 then, it is of course the new afflicted monsters of Update 1. The 9 new versions of some more hefty monsters. 60% of the voters agreed that these guys are by far and away the most challenging. That's really reflected in the comments of the post as well. Due to their massive health pools, the increased damage, they are just very scary and very punishing. One mistake really could spell your cart. We also don't have the benefit of the special Spirit Bird on normal maps either, so you're not going to have like a massive health pool to protect you. Personally, I find the popping of all the anomaly cores really satisfying, and then the final one that you knock the monster down with, that feels great. It encourages you to move around the monster and attack those specific parts that maybe you wouldn't really attack otherwise. Depending on what weapon you've got, its element damage, whether it's blunt, severing, or whatever, you might just pick one area where it's particularly weak and just attack that always. With the afflicted, you have to move around, you have to attack those cores, and you got to be quick. So I find them as a mechanic, as a concept, really good. I like them way more than I enjoyed Apex monsters. And I agree, they are the hardest challenge in Update 1, and by far. But I suppose this poses a new question. Which of the new afflicted is the hardest of the update? For me, I'd probably say Rathalos, Zinogre, and Diablos are maybe like the top 3, but I'm not sure which I would pick between them. Here's the poll in full anyway. The numbers are pretty satisfying. We have 14% for both Lucent and Seething. So yeah, like I said, I put Seething as number 2 because there was a lot of comments specifically about Seething compared to Lucent. Well, hey, the Metal Wraths also have the double. We have exactly 6% for both of them. They're lower overall because once again, I do think the crazy Spirit Bird buff for that map makes a huge difference. And their powered up mode almost works against them, as you get some insane hit zones to work on now while they're like blue, and then when you knock them straight out of it, they're now weakened again. Between the 2 though, I'd say still the Rathalos is the harder fight. But with that conclusion, is Update 1 and its new challenges a worthy and satisfying update? I think so. When I saw we were only getting the 4 new monsters, and yeah, how quickly that was over, I felt a bit disappointed. We're going to have a whole month or more before Update 2, And yeah, it was just the 4 and they were over real quick. What saved it in a major way for me is the Anomaly investigation system. The 9 new afflicted monsters and the real challenge it provides. The investigation system that slowly scales the power and dangers of the new afflicted monsters. Introducing a new level system to work on that's completely outside of the current pretty irrelevant master rank. I remember how surprised I was to learn that update 1 was only going to require master rank 10 to engage with, when many of us are probably sat at over 100 now, thinking that's what the starting point was going to be. So a system to work on outside of that was pretty clever. It's not perfect though. A system that really should encourage co-op play with friends does the exact opposite, and that's just unfortunate. I'm talking about the new investigation requests that provided random monster with a minimum level to hunt, which rewards nearly double the research XP to progress your research level, and also progresses to the big reward at the end for those requests. It is very worth focusing these once you've got everything unlocked. And yet the chances of you having the same requests as a friend, very unlikely. So the game is encouraging you to do the requests, due to the huge benefits of doing so, but it's also encouraging you to end up playing solo or maybe search through the filters to join online with people you don't know. And that's good and all to encourage online play with new people, but it is really lame for the people who just want to play with friends, because they're basically being punished for doing that. I really hope they add a way to say sync up your requests with the current lobby or with your friends to fix that kind of awkward issue. And one other note for update 1 is that there's technically more to it coming. With the return of event quests, we have plenty of new challenges coming for new rewards. Teased, in fact, in that trailer was an event quest against both male Wraths at once in the Forlorn Arena. That sounds like a nightmare. Satisfying challenge is hard to achieve, something that, you know, is genuinely difficult but worth working on and overcoming. That journey to beat it is really enjoyable, and they've done that in the Monster Hunter series. Like, my favorite example of these is soloing Electrion and Fatalis and Iceborne. But I must admit, while both Wraths at once sounds difficult, I'm not sure as a solo player I'm going to enjoy that all that much, but we'll see. But as we go into update 2, will that be even more challenging than the current update 1? I think, yeah, obviously. With star level 6 anomaly quests that are surely going to come, right? That'll mean Afflicted Elder Dragons. They've also said there's going to be more to the investigation system, so yeah, the next level of Afflicted is going to be in there, I'm sure. But maybe we'll see new features alongside that. There's also going to be new monsters in the game, right? Be they new entirely or returning like the ones in update 1. But I do feel this first update, this starting point, I think they did a really good job with it. And as it's only going to get harder, I'm looking forward to it. Alright, last mention for the video. Qurious Crafting. Obviously, we can use this to augment our weapons, but we can also use it to augment our armor and give them entirely new skills. Skills that weren't previously on the armor, like speed eating here, doubling up on skills, insanely effective skills like protective polish, or even say upgrading the decoration slots as well. There's a lot you can do with this system in terms of potential, and with that there's a lot of RNG. And unfortunately, the more RNG there is in the core stuff of a build, the worse it is on speedrunners. Either they engage with this true RNG and basically get screwed, or they choose to use cheats to mod their augments to get the perfect ones, much like many have done with their talismans. That puts them on the same playing field, the same level as every other speedrunner doing that, allowing them to actually have a chance at competitive times compared to someone who doesn't do it, and yeah, they're just out of the running. For you, a casual player, I do think this system is neat. You're able to use it to get some comfy skills in a build that you otherwise never would get, or even free up space if you're lucky enough to get a really good skill from a craft. But if you take this game seriously, and you want the absolute best output, whether you're a speedrunner or not, that means you're engaging with a really RNG system. The same could be said for talismans, and a lot of people had complaints about that, and now we have 2 of them. Peppo recently tweeted about this concern for speedrunners. He's a fantastic longsword speedrunner in Team Darkside, and it simply feels that it's useless to try to compete without cheating in the best skills, which from that tweet appears to be something he doesn't want to do, which is fair enough. And I know most of the player base aren't speedrunners, but they're an important part of the community. They're not only really fun to watch, but it shows like the absolute maximum potential of the game, and I think that's important to have. So this armor augmenting system, it's really unfortunate for them. So let me know, how do you guys feel about Qurious Crafting? But that's the video. Those are the different topics I wanted to talk about for this update, and overall, I'm very happy with it. Event quests should add some extra spice over the coming weeks, and I think I'll take this time as well to learn some more weapons before that update. If you've enjoyed this discussion style of video, please do drop a like so we can keep making them in the future. And on that note, please always try to remember to keep it civil in the comments. This is a game we all love and want the best for, so if someone has a different opinion to you, don't take it personally. I hope in regards to the speedrunning mention on that note, we can show some understanding that armament augmenting is definitely awkward for them. Otherwise, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.